President Goodluck Jonathan was born on the 20th of November 1957 in the then eastern region, now Bayelsa State. He holds a doctorate in zoology from the University of Port Harcourt. In 1999, he was elected deputy governor for his home state of Bayelsa.
When the idea of the Organization of African Unity came on board, and the key thing was to make sure that African countries all get independence from colonial rule. That was the driving force. And you recall that, as at that time, the emphasis was not even for the organization to play any role in the internal affairs of any nation. But their focus was, how do we make sure that all African countries become independent? Independence is not enough. Good governance and democracy is what rules the world. For us to move as a continent, Africa, we should go beyond primary production. We should go beyond servicing industries abroad with our raw materials, either from our forest produce or from our solid minerals. That was to work hand in hand to add values of what we produce and, of course, encourage intra-African trade. We cannot stand alone, except the rest of the globe come to assist us in one way or the other. And the modern leadership of Africa is struggling to make sure that we do this better. Of course, we have basic problems in terms of infrastructure. Movement within African countries is more difficult than moving from Africa to the rest of the world. And these are areas that we've been struggling, holding several meetings to make sure that we bridge that gap. The driving force is still identical. The only thing is that the focus. We must come together to help ourselves. Before, we had to come together to get other countries out of colonial rule. But now we have to come together to make sure that we improve infrastructure to enable Africa to play big globally in terms of economic development. And that's why in our meetings, you've heard about NEPAD, where we do peer review. And we have the special sessions set specifically for the development of infrastructure. Africans, we have a key role to play for ourselves. We cannot sit down and wait for development to come from outside Africa. We cannot continue to wait for AIDS. And from some analysis, the money that moved from Africa out of Africa is almost 4 times the amount of money that comes into Africa as AIDS. That means that if we have a way of managing our resources and keeping this money within Africa, probably most African countries will not even need external aid to do what they are doing. And you must make sure that you have good schools and make sure that you beef up the education. If you look at the rate of school dropouts, the basic education, this part of the country where you have this prevalence of Boko Haram also have the highest school dropout rate. Make sure that people are educated so that they cannot be easily brainwashed. Then you must create an economic environment that they will be in position to fend for themselves. And we are doing that in terms of our own agri programs. We are doing that in what we call community services, local roads, renovation of health centers, primary schools, and so on.